morning, everyone. How was your weekend? Because I noticed that we actually jumped into, I want to say this, the weekend read got something like over 200 views. That's huge. We're making those huge jumps along the way. More people getting on board. And guess what? It's a lot of fun for me. So, I just wanted to kind of bring something up while I'm laying out these cards. In my travels this weekend, particularly yesterday, I noticed it seems like everywhere seems to be pretty short-staffed these days. Just about every business on this planet is running not lean, they're running anorexic. And they're all trying to keep up with the workload because guess what? Our demand has not slowed down. I received multiple apologies yesterday from various people who were working, and I told them there was no reason to apologize. This was not their fault. The wait times in lines are getting longer and longer. Things are not going well in some areas. But I wanted to ask all of you watching this today, remember that when you're out and about and in your travels, that the people behind the counters, the people that are stocking the shelves, the people that are making your food, or whatever it is they're doing, whatever business you're currently finding yourself within at the moment, remember just to be a little extra patient, a little extra kind. Some of them have no control over what's happening. And believe one thing, that little bit of extra, it goes a long way. It really does. Also, I wanted to put this in front of you because I found this piece of a poem, and not many people know this about me, but I do love poetry, and I wanted to read this to you. And it's just a part of it, and it says, "Then out spake brave Horatius, the captain of the gate, to every man upon this earth, death cometh soon or late. And how can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods?" I thought those were just some very, very powerful words, and as you can tell, Bub is over here completely going psycho on the couch. And for what reason, I have no earthly idea. Let's get down to it. I do have a couple of things I need to do before I head out. So, significator today, Thor. Bang. So, we're starting this week off with a huge bang. With Thor as our significator, we should probably be a little more like him. However, I caution against Thor's impatience. I really caution against that because I just advised against it. Thor, he is hot-headed, but he is reliable. He is strong, and we just talked about strength. That strength that comes with bravery, courage. It doesn't mean that you're absolutely fearless. It means that you know how to utilize it to make your senses sharper. For our guide, we have Fenrir. That's a hell of a dichotomy. I had Loki come up in a personal reading yesterday, the one I did. One that's kind of been a long time coming for someone. I'm sorry that was late. But you know, something about the wolf is that the Norse Norse actually greatly admired and feared the wolf in equal measure. But this is it. We have to do this. And you know what? Here's one of the messages from this that one of the messages that I'm getting right now. I'm sorry. Bob has seemed to be a complete terrorist this morning. He is ripping and shredding his way through the place. So, there is a certain power in endings. So, it's time for us to let go of our hatred. Belittling others to make yourself feel superior is never wise. Don't automatically fear those whom you may not fully understand. First impressions are not always correct. So, we're starting to get a bit of a bolder picture of this, I think. I know I am. Remember what I said about using your fear to sharpen your senses, to kind of give you a little bit of an edge. Well, we have the ever sly fox, and this, the subtext on it is to think on your feet. There's I worked with a guy from Bulgaria one time who loved to use the term strong like a bear but crazy like a fox. He usually said that when talking about one of his friends growing up, that he was strong like a bear and crazy like a fox. I thought that was such a cool way of describing someone that if ever someone earned it, I would definitely bestow that upon them. But here's the thing, today you're meant to move very swiftly. So this spirit is going to draw out your creativity as you adjust to rapidly changing circumstances with resilience, grace, and astuteness. This spirit helps you think on your feet, using your best judgment and wits to help you slip into a more advantageous situation. Now is not a time to hesitate, but for swift action of the mind, a time to think outside the box and notice that many ways in which you might make a move, aware of your surroundings and always clear on what you deserve and wish to co-create. Trust that your cleverness, guided by the fox, will serve you well. I think those are some pretty poignant words. I'm really, really interested to see what the rest of this has to say, so let's just get right down to it. We're starting with the lovers. So a partnership, a 4 of coins, and a king of coins. So we're seeing a lot of this earth energy in there, starting with the lovers. I do love this version of the card. We can see that close partnership, that close relationship with someone else. This does not have to be romantic. It just has to be something close. This could be a close friend. This could be family. It could even be a business associate, believe it or not, because we got that partnership going on. This 4 of coins, we see that we're all kind of coming together here, growing together, bundled together. So we are not working too independently of each other, but we are working together to bring about something that we can all enjoy, right? We're actually kind of, with this card, it looks like we're co-creating, right? And if you look very carefully in here, you can see them almost winding together, kind of interlocking with each other. Same as the lovers putting their heads together and almost interlocking antlers. So we definitely have that not really dual energy, but a sort of a coming together of sorts. We have to be able to reach across that aisle, right? Pointing at Fenrir right there, pointing at that fox. and we have to be strong about it. We have to make quick, decisive actions. So right there with Thor, because Thor did make quick, decisive actions, but most times it was out of impatience. And here's the thing, when we get this King of Coins, we have absolutely mastered that earthly skill, whatever it is. But here's the thing, the bud here always looks so welcoming, but it does have thorns. It's a little inaccessible, isn't it? So I would say, I would caution against too many thorns out there. You really want to make yourself accessible today. Okay? How do we do that? You do have a plan in place for your soul, and it's time to follow that. So, fated life versus destiny. Well, I think we can talk about that for a couple of minutes at least. And no, I know I'm bringing out the fuck it all mug. I'm not anticipating a bad day. I just needed I needed a real double shot of hell yeah. And this is doing the trick. So, fate. Fate means that something is fixed. Look at the Bill and Ted movies. Bill and Ted, all three of them. Bill and Ted are fated to write the song that will save the world, but they mistake that for their destiny. By the third movie, they're floundering. They're in their 50s and they're floundering. They have young adult children and they're floundering. They're playing weddings and time is tearing itself apart. Until they realize it's not them that has to write the song, they have to co-create it with their children. So there you see the difference between the two. One has agency, the other does not. I would say choose destiny over fate, because destiny has the power to change fate. But remember what your plan is. Do a little meditation. Never hurt. Here we go. Activated Earth. Power places, ley lines. Just remember to trust where you're led. If you have to go somewhere today, trust that there's a reason for you to be there. And finally, we have this. We have a little bit of conflict in here. We have that polarity, but that polarity leads to our growth, which is important. Finally, we have the runes. We have Thurasaz. Here was that conflict. Here's Thor again, the first letter of his name. This is that conflict and challenge, so we are facing some serious challenges today. This is not exactly pretty, is it? But we also have Uruz. This is strength, courage, and it is also freedom. This is the horns of the ox, if you will. And then finally, we have manas. We will be gaining insight. We do have that sort of forward-thinking vision for the world that we want to co-create. I think the most important message in this entire thing, the biggest summary, is that nothing good ever comes easy, ladies and gentlemen. The hero or heroine is only as good as the villain they defeat, or the challenge that they overcome. But you have to be able to rise to it and make your victory decisive, just like what was in the weekend reading. The weekend reading was telling us the same thing. We have to summon up the courage to do what's right. So we do have to change what we can. Sometimes we have to accept what we can't. The things we can't change, we have to accept them. But we also have to have the wisdom to know the difference between the two. And that's why the meditation is also important. It's important to get away for just a couple minutes, or do it before you go in. And that's really that's all I really have for today. I know it's kind of an abrupt ending there, but I think if we're strong like the bear, crazy like the fox, I think today could be a very, very good day, despite the challenges. You'll probably come home wiped out, ready to just like kick over and crawl into bed, but that's acceptable. Giving up, willful failure, is not. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sitting in and having a little tea with me. It's Monday, ladies and gentlemen. It truly is Monday. Remember, your strength is nothing if it's never tested. Your courage is nothing if it's never tested. And freedom is nothing if you have not won it. Take care of yourselves and each other. Do what lights you up. Light yourself, light the world. And as always, shine on.